Hello, people of YouTube. As you can see, I have my rifle here once again because I got a note earlier today saying that my universe-ending punishment would be coming for me at some point today. So yeah, I'm obviously really fucking terrified. But I will not let that stop me from making videos. Anyway, welcome to my YouTube. Austin, what are you doing here? Get down! Get down! Whoa! Get down! What the fuck was that?
That, my bearded brother bestie, never saying that again, would be the universe's retaliation for your Ed, and Eddie, what was it, the Big Picture Show review? Yeah, that.
Okay, that seems more than a little overreaction over a review, of all things.
Oh, you think that's overreacting? You clearly have never been in a boring 2 hours, 16 minute or whatever second movie involving people being shrunk down to 5 inches tall, a guy who we should be focusing on, but instead we're focusing on this other guy whose life is just full of bullshit, having to get your teeth yanked out, all your hair shaved, his wife ditching him like halfway towards the first part of the shrinking process that takes 5 hours for some reason, just to be in a boring movie that can't decide what the direction it wants to go into.
Austin, do I need to call the police or suicide prevention hotline? Because you're really starting to scare me.
What are you talking about? It's downsizing.
What? No. No, 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 no. No.
This is our review of Downsizing.
Fuck my life and call it Shirley.
Fuck my life and call it. What?
You heard me.
You have a great life.
I know, but fuck it anyway and call it Shirley.
Right. Well, why don't you put away the gun before you destroy something in your room, like your laptop or your wall or your TV?
Oh, please. It's not like this. It's not like this thing is real. I mean, I'm using it to intimidate the universe so it doesn't try to kill me. I mean, seriously, what kind of an idiot would actually think? What the fuck? It was loaded? There was a laser? What the?
How does a rifle shoot a laser?
Out of everything, that's really what you ask.
Yeah.
I thought this was just a stupid prop that my freaking stepdad's best friend gave me.
Okay, I will question your family dynamic and Gibson, taste in gifts later, but, how are you not more concerned, or confused, rather, about a rifle shooting a laser?
Well, clearly I'm more concerned with the fact that I've been swinging this thing around, not knowing what the fuck it... There's a hole in my wall!
You really didn't notice that? What did you think? It would just face through the wall?
I've been more concerned about the fact that this fucking thing's just a laser at all!
Hold on. There. It's fixed. Everyone's
No,
happy.
it's not! That doesn't make it any better! That snap bullshit didn't make it any better!
The wall's completely fixed. It's like it never happened at all, which is...
What's that?
Which one?
Hit the deck! Whoa! What the fuck did you do now?
Well, the never making it happen thing, I may have forgotten about the laser. And now there's a hole in your floor as well as your wall. Hold on, I can fix it.
No, 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 no!
You okay? I would take that as a no.
Why must the universe cause me so much pain?
Okay, putting that away. And, well, I stopped it from hurting you earlier, so it's probably its way of saying there. So, are you good?
Whoa! That was a rush.
What the hell was that? Are you okay?
No.
Are you gonna do that again?
Yes.
No, he's not.
Party for my fine, won't do it anymore.
No, you won't.
do nothing.
I was facing you. Your back may have been turned towards me, but I could still hear you mouthing the words, I know.
Well, fuck you, I'm doing it anyway.
Look, can we just get this over with?
Why are we torturing ourselves? This thing has been around, this movie has been around for what seems to be almost 2 years.
Yes, but we have chosen to walk the path of critics. True, we're bad at it now, but in time we will get better. And it is a critic's job, nay, a critic's duty, to warn the public so they do not have to waste their hard-earned money and valuable time watching this 2 hours, 16 minutes, something second bullshit boring movie. It's our job, Christian.
Okay, one, can I please have my shoulders back? 2, fine, we'll do this. If you're not aware of what we're talking about, the movie we're speaking of is Downsizing, a movie that came out in the early or late 2017 that was based around the idea of scientists finding a way to shrink people down to the size of 5 inches in order to reduce the waste and pollution that humanity inevitably creates.
Yeah, and the pollution caused by these shrunken 5-inch 36 people, this little colony could fill up one trash bag that wasn't even half full by the end of, what was it, 5 years?
I believe so.
So yeah, it only filled up to like, holding, the way he looked to hold it, it only filled about like, I want to say 1/3 of the bag.
Which is actually quite impressive.
Yeah.
And a scientific feat that would very much be
beneficial in our modern day society, yes.
But, however, there are always those who decide to say, fuck you, science. I don't care what the fuck you're saying. I'm going to do what I want to do. Oh, look at this. I just drank out of a plastic bag, and now it goes into the water.
Are you okay?
Fuck you, nature. I'm gonna make you my bitch.
First of all, language. Second of all, do you have any attacks often?
Oh, only when I'm angry as fuck.
You're always angry.
Exactly.
Anyway, so, you might be wondering what this movie is about. Well,
obviously it's about the world, a good portion of the world going from, let's say Austin's 6 feet to the mere size of 5 inches. Obviously, like we said. However, this incredible scientific breakthrough took, I want to say, 16 years to become an actual thing, but did we focus on the man who thought of this brilliant invention? Did we focus on his journey from point A to point B, from hypothesis to conclusion, and overall field testing right in the middle? No! We got a man's entire life of bullshit!
Yes, so, as Angry August here just said, I'm not apologizing. So, yes, instead of focusing on a man who created this basically miracle of human science, this movie would be a lot better if it was about the man who created it, what happened when he created it, like the journey he went on, discussing this new lifestyle to his friends, his family, to all his loved ones, to try to get people to help him make this a reality. But no. What's it about? I'll tell you exactly what this shit is about. 2 hours and 60 minutes too long. It is instead about, what was it,
For the sake of not giving an absolute damn about what's his name, and what's her name, we're gonna call him Lame-Ass Larry and Lame-Ass Lori.
I have 2 aunts named Lori. What about asshole Alexandra?
Asshole Alexander. Fine. I probably don't remember it, but whatever.
We will get to why those names later, but what was it? Lame-ass Larry is...
Lame-ass Larry is basically a man who works as
a physical therapist.
Yeah, physical therapist for Omaha Steaks.
Okay, now, here's the thing. That work does actually sound, very interesting. It is very beneficial to help your fellow humans in, physical therapy-like ways. But why is he so fucking boring?
I mean, if you look closely, like we had to, at his facial features, you can see there's absolutely no emotional reaction to anything he does. I mean, it's more like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool, I'm doing something, but my face is so straight you can't tell what the fuck I'm thinking, or what the fuck I'm passionate about.
Yeah,
my face is so straight, it could be a line.
Yeah, he's like more, what was it, Matt Wahlberg from The Happening?
Probably.
I'm just expecting him to go, what? No. I mean, he is that bad. I know people are going to kill me for saying that, but I don't care. It's that bad. He is that boring.
And Asshole Alexandra is by far probably even worse. Near the, I want to say middle, but it didn't even get close. It was to the middle.
It wasn't even close. It was like, what, in the first 30 minutes?
I mean, guys, we kept pausing in order to make jokes about the movie, but in between those jokes, you cannot tell where the movie begins, where the middle is, and where the fucking end is.
Well, yeah, we know where it ends. It's like before the end credits. But no, it goes in so many directions. One of my jokes was literally, let's see. Here it is. Okay, movie, you could be boring as hell, lighthearted, a sci-fi, a drama.
Which is actually what it's listed on
Yeah,
online.
it's
a
a
sci-fi drama. No, it's not! It's not, you fucking liars!
You could be a comedy, you could be depressing.
Which it is half the time.
Yeah. You could be all these things, but you gotta pick one. Well, no, you don't, but you don't have to be so greedy. Yeah, I know, it's a movie. They're gonna have a lot of different things in there, but all of the ones I just listed, and possibly more, are throughout. They are literally different sections in the movie.
And I'd like to point something out, okay? You know how I said that we have so many jokes to give this movie because it's so fucking stupid? Guess what? It has jokes of its own, and they're so goddamn terrible. They're not even jokes, they're just fucking puns. The lowest form of comedy.
Okay, one, you love puns. Two,
I do, but not when they're used so obviously. Or so obviously that a third grader could get them.
Okay, two, when we first watched this with our friend Jen from the Bean Boozle video, you basically paused the movie before the first second and said, okay, let's get all our short jokes out of the way. What was yours?
Let's see. Well, I got a list of jokes here.
Okay, but what was your stereotypical short joke?
I'm trying to read it right here.
Because I know Jen's was, I guess jokes in this movie come in short supply. Yours was...
I really can't remember. It's really that fucking terrible.
If memory serves, your joke was... I guess... hey, who knows? Maybe this downsizing video is gonna be too short for laughs? Or something like that. And mine was just insert stereotypical short joke here.
Oh, and I'd like to get to the part where I have the best joke. It's not even a short joke. It's basically a joke about the main character. So, we're basically at a class reunion, and this guy who went to pre-med school
And got all of his loans paid off, by the way.
Thank you. He basically got to his friend, who is a doctor, and said, "Hey, didn't you study pre-med? Why aren't you in the same thing as I am?" And I'm like, "Well, thank you for pointing out how fucking suckish my life is."
And then I added, "Cheers, asshole!" I really gotta refill this cup. There's nothing in it. I don't know why I pretended there was.
Oh, and the thing that pisses me off so much more, is the term they give the process of downsizing. They call it getting small.
What the hell is this? The newest scientific advancement or the newest drug in town?
I don't fucking know, but that is not what you give the greatest scientific breakthrough that history has ever known.
So
you
far.
put some effort into it.
Yeah, and in case you were wondering, these were some of the jokes.
What do we have? Let's get some of them out of the way.
Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, and in the scene in the bar, I said, wait, so if alcoholics get small or whatever it was,
they can literally swim in alcohol.
Yeah, they can literally swim in booze. That was my joke, and you stole my thunder. How fucking dare you?
Yeah, and then there was talk about how this incredibly amazing thing could be used for military purposes, and I was like, huh. I guess we literally have small soldiers.
That was your stereotypical small joke. By the way, that movie sucked.
How dare you?
You don't even know what Small Soldiers is.
I've watched it of Small Soldiers.
What?
I've watched Small Soldiers enough. I know what it is. I love that movie.
Huh.
The action figures were fucking amazing, except for the military guys. And apologies to the veterans. The Gorgonish were just a lot more funny and lovable. Watch the movie.
I'm good. Anyway, in the bar when... Okay, so they decide... Okay, first, let's talk about this. These 5-inch... No, my turn now. So, they consider downsizing, and they go to, after like, what were they, the big guy on campus, who I guess is now
the small guy on campus.
Har har yuck yuck. Comes back, and he and his wife and or girlfriend or fiance, whatever, are both 5 inches tall, and they tell them to visit, what was it, Leisureland?
Yeah.
Yeah, their community in one of the small colonies. So they go visit Yuck Yuck. They show, like, the new Barbie dream houses now for $19.55 at Toys R Us. Oh, wait, sorry, too soon. Or is it not soon enough? Because there's talk of bringing them back. Whatever. Anyway, so they go there, and the announcer of the show and 2 cameramen are 5 inches tall, and his house is like Barbie's mansion. It literally opens up like this. So, yeah, wasn't exaggerating. So, he talks about all this stuff. They show his wife. She's talking about it too.
Naked in a bathtub.
We agree never to speak of that.
I pointed out because it's the most disturbing thing that bugs me. Why would you want your wife in a bathtub naked on camera in front of millions of people when you're trying to sell a fucking house?
Technically, he's trying to convince them to get small. Anyway.
I don't fucking care. It's degrading towards his wife.
Ah! You have been chewed. Moving on. Sorry. Now then, as I was saying, they explain that how when you're small, all your money is somehow multiplied. So, what is it, like, $25 would be like 2,500?
Apparently.
And so since they're in, like...
Since they're considering getting small, a woman has told him, or them, that they could, if they liquefy all their assets, which, it confuses me, if they liquefy all their assets, they would have 152,000 or something to that effect. They would
$1 million?
they would end up having 12.5 or $15.2 million.
Yeah, and here's the thing: these people have been shown to struggle financially.
Mm-hmm. Extremely financially,
Yeah.
which is amazing how they can even be able to do this process. Because
Considering,
I'm pretty sure this process of downsizing is only for those who can afford a private jet.
well, they have shown that other people have been able to do it too. I mean, but the process, it does seem like it would cause a lot of more money than what they appear to be saying, as well as the fact that, you know, all that other scientific stuff. I mean,
Fair enough.
what did they say the process takes? Like 5 hours?
Oh, and although within the 5 hours, as Austin said in the beginning, you have to get your entire body shaved.
Eyebrows included.
Not really, and I would, if I was in that universe, I would not be, even though they put you to sleep, I would not be comfortable with another person touching this area while I'm asleep.
Yeah, I thought we agreed to not talk about that.
Fuck you, I'm talking about it anyway.
Anyway, another part of it is getting your teeth with fillings pulled out, which they do replace by the end of the process after you have been shrunken. Shrunken?
It doesn't matter. Anyway, the husband goes through the process swimmingly, by the way.
Yeah. And we forgot to mention that there are some complications that can arise due to this process, but no.
Nausea, sickness, and the occasional bit of death.
Oh yeah, and when the lady told them that, she said it with a smile on her face, like, yes, death! Now with extra pain and suffering.
Yes.
And now...
but the crown jewel, a fuck-uppery for this guy's life.
Oh.
Please let me say it. Please, for the love of the Lord.
Okay, but first, you all need to be sitting down, or if you have glasses, take them off so you can face palm, or drop your jaw, or put down anything breakable, get away from anything breakable, so just listen to this. Go ahead. Go on.
Okay, so 5 hours. The man goes through the bullshit of getting his entire body shaved, his teeth yanked out of his skull, his basically entire self shrunken to probably the size of his own penis. And I'm keeping that joke in because I made it and it made you and Jen laugh. Don't act like it didn't.
It was a pity laugh, but continue.
Anyway, so after a supposed to be amusing joke by a nurse about bringing in a giant cracker.
And, oh, by the way, I remember his name is Paul, so, hey, Paul, you want a cracker? Hey, fuck you. Sorry, had to bring that up. Continue.
Anyway, he then asks to see his wife because she went through the process along with him. They bring him a cell phone so he can call his wife. He calls his wife. And you know what she did?
Tell her what she did, Christian.
She pushed out!
Yeah.
She got her head shaved and one eyebrow shaved off before she said, nope, right in the nope, trying to fuck that bill.
Okay, that was funny, but yeah, she does go to the airport and she calls, and she makes it sound like he's the one being selfish. Excuse me here. Well, didn't we want to call her
Asshole Alexandra?
Hey, you remembered. Yeah, so, listen, asshole Alexandra. Oh, wait, her name was Audrey. So, yeah, asshole Audrey.
Whatever.
Jinx, you owe me a soda. Anyway.
Fuck you.
No. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that, you were the one who wanted a new house. And he could not afford it due to paying off all his student loans. But he still wanted to get you a new house because he loves you. He cares about you. And he goes through all of this, making him and you very financially successful after this process, giving you, like, the latest Barbie dream house made with custom robes, a swimming pool, and your wedding rings being the size of hula hoops. And you have the nerve.
You have the nerve to puss out! She has the nerve to puss out!
Yeah, you have the nerve.
Some fucking loyalty!
The nerve. The audacity.
The gall! The unmitigated gall! Stolen from the Grinch, I don't give a fuck.
To call this man
Selfish!
After he wanted to give you literally everything you wanted. And what? You just had to say goodbye to your family and friends?
You could have seen them at any fucking point in time!
Newsflash, asshole! You could have visited them any goddamn time! What? They couldn't come over to your place without being shrunken? And this process
You could go there!
Yeah, and what?
Could go there!
And what? This process is irreversible? Well, you could still go there. I know that people keep forgetting this in movies, but
And do you not really... Okay, I'm sorry I keep interrupting you, but there are literally compartments for the downsized people.
in buses.
And in planes. Do you realize how amazingly cool that is? I mean, there's a slight risk of you possibly getting stomped, but actually there are big people who will carry you!
Yeah, like
at the reunion!
Yeah,
There were people who were brought in!
Yeah, the shrunken couple that we stated earlier in the video. They were carried to their table by, assumingly, one of their classmates who wasn't shrunk. So also, asshole Audrey, whatever, I know movies keep on forgetting this, but there is something in between your ears that allows you to make smart choices, and it's called a brain. Perhaps you and the people who like to put very dangerous electrical equipment in horror movies in the dark would like to use it and use your fucking mind and say, hey, I want to see what I'm doing when I'm filming with this very important looking shit. Throw in some lights, Larry. Sure thing, Bob. I'm actually starting to absorb your anger. I never thought I would say this, but I hate being an empath right now.
Okay. So, okay, I'm going to speak of the one saving grace in this entire movie, but even though it's a saving grace, it is not worth it. It is not worth the hours of bullshit we had to watch this man's life become.
Oh, trust me, and you feel all 2 hours. It feels even longer than that, in fact. But tell them.
Okay, so there's this woman, I don't remember her name, but she's a Vietnamese woman. She's somewhat pushes you. She tries to get into life. She tries to do her own thing. Okay, there's only one good thing she does that makes you want to laugh, but it is still not worth the bullshit.
Are you talking about one of her lines towards the end of the movie?
Yes.
Can I actually say something about her for a second?
Yes.
Okay, so this woman was taken from her village and force shrank against her will, and she and how many other people?
I don't know. A lot of Vietnamese people in a TV box.
Were in like one of those widescreen TV boxes, and there was a shooting, and she was the only one who survived, although she had to get her leg amputated. Very sad, and she really is a very interesting character. And I'm not trying to sound rude or whatever, but I'm saying this because I don't know. But I don't know if she's faking her accent. I don't know if she's, I don't know if she's really from the American countryside, and trying to put on a Vietnamese accent, or trying to sound like she comes from the Vietnamese version of the American countryside, but I don't know. It's kind of distracting, but I'm not trying to be racist. None of that. Sorry. But it's just kind of distracting, but she really is a very interesting character. She does have her funny moments here and there. She does know what she wants. She's all like, no.
She knows what she wants and she takes it.
Yeah. And she does help the people in her community, which is
an admirable quality.
Yeah, and she is currently one of the people who are forced to live in
poverty.
Yeah, in the poverty version. Like,
it's kind of odd because if you're forced shrank, why would you put anyone in a poverty location, I mean, why have a poverty location anyway? If the people don't make enough to like afford the whole thing, why a poverty section? Shouldn't all these people like just be living la vida loca?
Anyway, this community is. I think they were all like forced to be shrunk against their will.
Probably.
So
Anyway.
So she really does help her community.
But she only has one saving grace in this movie, but it's still not worth watching it. It's not worth the brain cells needed to die in order to watch this.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know if I'm gonna do a Vietnamese accent properly.
Don't.
Okay. Basically, she asks, "What kind of fuck you give me?" And then she lists all the different fucks.
What were they?
I believe there was hate fuck, love fuck, sex fuck, some other revenge fuck. Apparently, the last people she worked with listed off a bunch of different kind of fucks that a person can give another person.
Yeah, and
which is not the case which should not be the case when it comes to the beautiful whatever that is sex. The merging of two souls.
Moving on.
Whatever.
So yeah, that's towards the end of it. But I want to talk a little bit more about asshole Audrey. She left her wedding rings and this custom robe that was made for her. And 1 year later, after this guy got downsized, he has to file for a divorce. And his life basically goes to shit. I mean, his new big house, yep, just put him in an apartment building.
With a big-ass flower in it.
Yeah, but why did he buy a flower again? Was it for his new date?
I don't know. I think it was just to brighten up the room.
And why were they so excited to see a flower, too?
Because it's the first, like, large flower they've seen in years. I mean, any other flower you're going to see is going to be the size of a flower that would be in our hands.
Yeah.
But to them, it's going to be like a giant freaking golf ball boulder type bullshit.
Okay, true. But so yeah, and instead of never actually having to work a day in his life again,
he has to work
in a cubicle for like what was it, like tech help?
I think it was more for like furniture.
Yeah, furniture, apparel.
Like musk green, lime green, some kind of green for some kind of something, like a carpet or some bullshit.
Yeah, and yeah, it was very boring, and you know it's bad when the only interesting thing about your character being the fact that he's a physical therapist is the one thing that makes the movie interesting again. In a movie about people the size of a fucking Tic Tac.
Well,
don't question my teachings.
Fuck you, dude. You're being a piece of shit.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm an empath. I'm absorbing your anger.
No, he's not the size of he's the size of a playing card.
Are playing cards 5 inches?
Yeah, some of them.
Huh. Anyway. And when they actually...
I mean, literally, this movie could have been so much better if we had focused on the scientist. Then it would have actually been a sci-fi drama.
I know.
Because we would have gone through the process of how he tried to discover this brilliant solution.
How it started working. How he would convince others to join his cause.
Where he first tried to test it, obviously. In the beginning he tested on rats. But I'd like to see where he goes from there, not just like
a skip.
Bam, 5 years later.
And then 10 years later, and then 1 year later.
Exactly. This entire movie didn't bother with sci-fi or drama of any kind. I mean, if it was drama, it was bullshit drama.
Yeah, but
there was barely any sci-fi at all, really.
I know. And the point he made about it being so much better if they focused on the creator, that was actually what I stated.
And I'm giving you credit for that. You pointed out something that I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah.
I was just mad about the bullshit person.
Yeah, it would have been so much more fascinating and interesting, not only from a scientifical or what or psychological or whatever. Not even if you're using, not if you're. It would have been interesting whether you're like incredibly genius or just a normal moviegoer who just goes, huh, downsizing. So that's the description. It actually looks pretty cool. It's about shrinking people. That's fucking awesome. I want to. Do they ride on like squirrels? Do
It's
they
basically
have,
a
like,
lame ass
swords?
version.
That's awesome.
It's basically.
No, they don't.
It's basically a lame ass version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the only time we get any sort of this guy create, like, in the process of perfecting this serum, is what he said with the rat. Yeah. Just once. We don't even see the shrunken rat. We just see the man's face go. And then he runs downstairs to his boss.
Well, colleague.
Whatever.
Oh,
Sorry.
and it's not something I would normally point out, but we do have a little tiny smidgen of a scene of what is it? Would it be smallism or racism or like?
But also they even shrunk. And by the way, back on the shrunken rat thing for a second, they even shrink down like animals like sheep, horse, pigs, and even dogs.
Which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, but think about how much pain the animals had to go through.
What? What do you mean, what pain? Oh, you mean possibly being shaved. Oh, yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
Or did they have to be shaved? Because I don't think they showed that the rat was shaved before he stuck the needle in it. And
actually, no, the rat wasn't shaved. You're right.
So why shave the humans and nothing? Moving on. So yeah, we are in the bar. This is like when
they're having their
Paul
goodbye party
before Paul and Paul and Audrey decide to go through with
Punk Ass Paul is what I'll name him.
Why not just stick with Lame Ass Larry? I mean, the joke featuring his name with a giant cracker is the lame ass pun I was expecting. Wait, his name is Paul.
Fine, lame ass Larry, whatever.
Nickname Paul E. Don't you pull out a giant cracker, motherfucker! So yeah,
anyway,
that.
we do. Comment down below if it's sizeism or racism.
Whatever. So we get to a moment in a bar where this guy is saying that if they shrunken down,
should they have the same rights as the rest of us? Normal sized people.
He's not exaggerating. That is the actual phrasing the character used.
And should you get like half a vote, a quarter of a vote, some kind of smidgen of a vote?
1/18th of a vote. And the guy who, like, it was just these two and then, like, another couple who I guess were some of their friends. The guy stood up, told him to basically F off and go away and keep his hurtful and discrimination thoughts to himself and let us get back to doing what we were doing. And he goes, and then, what was it? Did he say, like, Barkeep, give me another clean whiskey normal sized? Or something like that?
Or give me a normal sized drink.
From this normal sized person. Like, something like that. Yeah. Like, and I know this is going to be going on a little bit of a rant here, and I've been meaning to talk about... You know what? No, I'll just save what I was about to say for a future video on my own. Because it is so mad that I have to go into detail, and I don't know how long this video is going to last.
Okay, I don't know.
And it's almost at the 40-minute mark.
I actually don't know how much more I want to say. This movie was terrible. It had terrible jokes. It had a bullshit plot. It literally went nowhere except for this guy just doing whatever. And then at the end, it tried to turn into a disaster movie.
Yeah, they were like, oh, the methane released from... What was it? The ice caps?
Something.
It's gonna flood the world, and then they go inside this tunnel, which will take, like, what, 11 hours to get to the...
Yeah, 11 hours.
So, like, either 11 hours uphill and downhill combined, or 11 hours up, 11 hours down.
And then they had
whatever.
a bullshit explosion to seal off the entrance that a 5th grader could have made.
Yeah, it was basically as if someone took
A firecracker.
threw it at the thing above the door, blocked off the door, and it was all like, and they made a big deal out of it. They made it look like this was it. This was gonna be the end of the world in this film. But no, firecracker. Oh, and did I forget to mention that when they said that they had food, water, naturally created sunlight that they had manufactured that would actually be the same as actual sunlight and all that other stuff.
Yep.
Need I forget to mention that they didn't have any fucking water?
I thought you were gonna make it like a lot more dramatic than that. Considering how much of a bullshit thing it is. No water. How the fuck you?
I mean,
Okay. I'm
Maybe
just
they
saying
will
this
be-
because I learned in science that the human body or a human being can last a bit of a long time without food. Maybe a week or two without it, or even a month. But the main essential thing is water. You cannot go without water for more than at least 7 days.
yeah,
Maybe even less than that. Because you need water to survive.
water and food. But yes, I do understand what you mean. But we don't know. Maybe they did have a thing that they didn't show us, where there were like underground springs, like maybe an underground
Or maybe they
water,
had pipes going into the ocean.
or the nearby lake. But anyway, this movie was just so boring. It would, like I said, this scientific discovery that they made, it sounds so interesting. It would be so cool.
Okay, guys. Now, I'm just gonna say this, and I'm sorry. I really am. Sorry I keep interrupting you, but I don't know
It's
when
okay.
you're gonna be done or not. We're not saying it's awful. That's not what we're saying at all.
No.
There's really nothing awful about it. It's just that it's so fucking boring.
I know. We literally paused it like, what, 7 times just to see how long we still had? And we
Exactly.
haven't even gotten to the 30-minute mark by that point. And this is, I repeat, a 2-hour
And 16-minute movie.
yes.
There's really nothing awful about it except
It's boring as hell.
exactly. I mean,
You
the
know
woman leaving was awful.
Oh, by God, was that awful.
Exactly.
The discrimination, yeah, that was bad too. That was awful.
But the fact of the matter is, that's not even what we're really focusing on. We're focused on the fact that it was so boring.
Yeah. Oh, and you know how I mentioned the description earlier? Here was the description in this film. They make it sound like, because they say these two characters are going through it together, so it makes it sound like both Paul and Audrey are going to be shrunken down and go through all this stuff together. And that would be fine again. I mean, true, it'd still be boring, but hey, it'd still be with the same two, and maybe she wouldn't have looked so awful.
Oh,
but
wait a minute. Wait.
no.
Oh, and wait a minute. Wait, guys, I have to say this because this has to be said. Okay, so in the beginning of the movie, when they talk about the colony, they talk about how it's closed off by a dome. Okay, so no insects or anything can get in and attack them. That's fine. I understand safety. But if they had focused on the scientists, do you realize they could have had them if the effects were good enough? If they used the same kind of effects they use in the original Jurassic Park with the robotic dinosaurs and shit.
Yeah,
If
or
they did that, they could have made them be fighting centipedes,
riding
mantises,
dragonflies,
riding dragonflies,
riding squirrels, as previously stated.
possibly even petting butterflies, or roly-polies, or even watching from up close the birth of a butterfly.
Coming out of its cocoon.
I mean, maybe it would have looked a little gross because realism, but still, it would have made the movie look so much better instead of so fucking boring.
I know, because they go to this place at the end of the movie, and back to the very first colony, and what was it, Norway?
Something
and
like
the
that.
scenery is so beautiful. The very
Beautifully
first
done. You might actually think you were on location, having them filmed it.
Yeah, you could tell that this was the first colony because there were overgrown vegetation on all the buildings. The settlement looked perfectly rustic, like it has been a thing years before this shrinking thing was even invented. The scenery, the final sunrise, when they thought it would be the final day or night above ground.
The building!
It was beautiful!
The building of all of that would have been worth the price of a movie ticket. Yeah. It would have been worth the brain cells needed to watch and pay attention. It wouldn't have even needed jokes.
Yeah, it would have been so
It probably... That's the thing. It probably wouldn't have needed jokes.
Yes, and this sci-fi drama, which I'm ashamed to that it's classified by that because it puts other sci-fi dramas and any variation thereupon to shame. Because,
in a bad way, not a good way.
Yeah, because, oh my god, it could have been so much fascinating. It would have been so much more interesting.
The process of being shrunk would have been fascinating to watch.
Yeah,
I mean, they could have blurred out the...
Yeah, all of that. But, yeah, it would have been so much more interesting if we focused on the main scientist, if we followed his journey through all of this, instead of boring-ass Barry, or whatever his name was, and him facing out against this now literally giant world. I mean, even though it's still a giant world, but still.
That literally could have made insects look like the new Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I mean...
You know when you were a kid, and you know you did when you were a kid, don't lie to me. You know those times when you were a kid when you decided, hey, you know what would be cool? I could make my own bug circus. It could have been like that, yeah. But it wasn't.
Yeah, it would have been so much cooler, so much more fascinating, so much more
the possibility of getting eaten by birds, so the dome made sense.
Yeah.
But still.
And here's the thing. The very first colony, it was made without the dome. Yeah, they were out in the open, but birds, bugs, and predators left them alone because of their location by the water.
Exactly.
But I get it, not every location can be like that, so of course they had to include the dome.
Safety is a precaution necessary.
Yes, but really, if they focused more on the main scientist and the beauty of this world that we know is beautiful, and but yet is more beautiful now that they are smaller and can really see small things up close. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but you've interrupted me long enough, so fuck you. So, if they just focused on those things, made it look like all of this,
and the literal creation of the colony itself.
Yeah, from the ground up.
And I'd like to point out something, if I may, briefly, that is bugging the hell out of me. Okay, so, first child ever to be born into the colony. By the time we get to this guy having a bullshit-ass life and filing for divorce, the kid is already, I think, 17 or 15 years old.
17 or 18 at least.
At least. And he looks like a fucking stereotypical douchebag with long hair.
Yeah, he looks like a stereotypical sailor dude.
I don't know about sailor.
Well, maybe, I mean like surfer dude.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, him growing up and possibly even taking on the legacy of the colony, becoming a new leader, anything, except for being a douchebag.
Yeah, I mean, even if it went from what we talked about earlier of how much more fascinating that movie could be, if it involved this scientist helping this firstborn baby of the colony to grow up to be the new leader when the scientist eventually and unfortunately inevitably passed on. It would have been so much more interesting to see him adapt to the role of leadership.
And possibly have the coolest scientific mentor ever.
I know, but what do we get?
A bullshit, boring-ass motherfucker.
Yes.
And his bitch of a wife.
In a boring hell movie.
Alright.
All
that anger I had is almost all gone.
And so is the one from me. So, with all of that said, what do you think would have been better? The way the movie was originally made,
or how we just described would have made the movie an actual sci-fi drama.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we came up with this literally as we
Just
were recording.
now on the spot.
As we were recording this video. You know that is sad when a 22 and an almost 22-year-old could come up with a more fascinating, more awe-inspiring version of this movie than the original creators could.
How did the original creators even come up with that?
I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen in the movie, I'm surprised they were interesting enough to come up with the idea of shrinking.
I'm surprised it was even a thing. Like, I'm surprised anyone even saw it. I'm surprised it's even on Hulu at all.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to watch it now, it's on Hulu.
I mean, literally, guys.
I won't recommend it, but still.
What we just pointed out would be much cooler in the movie. I really don't understand why the directors and the artists and everything didn't go with that. Did they not have the imagination? Did they not have the money? Did they not have any of the practical whatevers? Did they do this?
Or they just didn't have a vision, or it was like...
Or they had... Or they had, as Revolver from Yu-Gi-Oh! Friends would say, lame imagination.
Or they could have had, like, a bunch of writers pulling out all this amazing stuff, and then one asshat keeps throwing in terrible ideas, but it keeps on getting close to clocking out time, so they decide to just grab one and go, oh, fuck, it's the shitty one. I mean, oh, well.
I mean, literally, what we pointed out, we could have said if we were high as balls, with still some kind of direction.
No, even if we were high and saying all of that, then it would have been... Actually, now I wonder what that would be like, because people, when they're high, see very weird stuff. Anyway.
Exactly, but giant centipedes, giant butterflies, giant whatever, attacking you.
Or becoming your allies. Like helping you with...
Those would have made the movie so much freaking better.
Oh,
but they didn't do that. I mean, they pulled bullshit out of their asses. Wait, actually, I have an idea right now. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? They were like, oh, we have an idea called downsizing. Hey, you know what? Here's an idea. How about we beat it to death with a bullshit stick?
Give me the bat. Give me the bat. Give me the bat. Why do you have this? Why do you even have this? You okay? Oh, and, yeah, so all of that.
They beat the idea with a bullshit stick.
I am surprised that you actually got a prop for the bullshit stick.
I've had it for years. I just never had the opportunity to use it.
Good to know. But, yeah, I mean, this movie is supposed to be saying how they're supposed to be helping the world, helping with the pollution, helping to preserve the natural beauty
but all we get is a boring-ass dude and his fuck shit of a life.
Yeah, and, need I remind you that the only time
he's not even doing anything but fuck shit. He doesn't even do anything meaningful with his life until the end.
Okay, my turn now. The only time we even get a glimpse of the beauty of this world is near the end when they're in the original Norway colony. And in our version, it would have been more of seeing this beautiful world.
And an actual sci-fi drama!
And hell, maybe there even would have been them seeing actual devastation of what they were trying to preserve. Like, what if they were, like, on the way to the first colony site, and then they see all this massive devastation that they would tell the people, and they would have, like, the normal-sized people, and they would have to, like, convince them to help them preserve the beauty of this world. You know, what the actual intended purposes of this fucking cylinder
well, really, they're not getting...
But no!
Really, they're not getting...
Bullshit!
Actually, the normal-sized people aren't going to care, because obviously what we see from that bar guy, who's drunk off his ass, it's clear that most
some of them
normal-sized people aren't going to give a fuck and just let the small ones drown to death.
Oh yeah, some of them, but remember the other half of the people were actually very for it.
Because they were looking at them like they were freak shows.
No, they were looking at them as friends, families, and maybe even as what's the word?
Agree to disagree.
Futurist. What is the word?
Futurist?
That's it. Yeah, a futurist. You know, like a person who tries to predict the future and make it happen. And
the not quite opposite, but same thing somewhat as an optimist. An optimist being one who loves to look on the bright side instead of always at the gloom and doom.
Yeah, but you know, any of that. But no.
And guys, I wasted all my angry energy, and now I'm just down here on the ground trying to not die.
Do you need help?
No, just continue. I'll be up in a second.
Okay. And we just wanted to get this over with. We even left out the majority of the jokes. I mean, there was a joke about it at the reunion of what was the joke at the reunion? Like,
I don't remember.
Something it was some bad joke, and Jen's joke was, let's see. Where is it?
You know, it kind of makes you wonder.
Hmm.
How exactly do they make, like, smaller versions of their stuff? How do they make small versions of their factories in order to build shit? Like if a child is passionate for a guitar, and if a child is shrunk, or someone has a shrunken child, how do they get, like, guitars for those?
Well, they
dudes?
probably, like, do whatever they did to make the houses and stuff.
Or even, like, small, like, baby bottles.
I don't know, but, like...
Or like a small crib.
Like,
I mean,
Jen...
you could probably use...
Probably the same way they got the houses and all the other bullshit. Now, stop interrupting me, please.
Jeez, I'm making you angry just by talking.
Well, I keep trying to talk and you keep fucking interrupting me.
I'm sorry, I used up all my angry energy.
So Jen pointed out how bad that joke was, and so I asked Christian to rewind the joke, and after the guy said the joke again, I went, hey, it gets worse every time I hear it. Yeah. And it really did. It somehow got worse the second time I heard that joke. So I was in the right.
Alright, well, guys, I think Austin and I have pointed out more than enough of how incredibly boring and useless this guy's life was to the story.
Yeah, and like we said, it would have been so much better if it was the main scientist and his journey, and then later raising up the firstborn kid to, like, help him lead this future world, or at the very least, this future colony.
Instead of becoming a stereotypical douchebag.
Yeah. Oh, and did I forget to mention that you even forget that these characters are 5 inches tall?
You really do, actually.
Yeah.
You really freaking do.
Yeah. Like, when they show...
The only time you're ever reminded is the flower and, what else? The wall. Apparently there's a wall also. And when you get on their boat, because there's a boat that they have to go to in order to get to the first colony, and you just see behind them they got giant ass water bottles, and oddly enough, one hot sauce bottle.
I don't know. And
because I guess someone's addicted to hot sauce.
And as we've
or
said,
just like swimming in it.
And as we said, the whole, like, the little screens, like the little sections they have for, like, buses to keep the shrunken people safe
from getting squashed.
Yeah, but
anyway,
our version would have been so much more interesting and fascinating.
Yeah. Again, guys,
and the worst part is in the multiverse, since everything in the multiverse, according to the multiverse theory, anything and everything is possible. There is actually a good version of this movie, a movie that is fascinating, interesting, mind-boggling.
Hard to believe, but very much true.
Yeah, which is why I'm such a big fan of the multiverse theory.
Alright, again, guys, not awful, not saying it's awful, because it doesn't actually have the material to be awful.
It's just boring.
Incredibly so.
I can't believe we actually got this angry about something so boring.
Well, I mean, they literally have so much bullshit, but the reason we're angry is because the science behind the whole thing is fascinating.
I know.
I could literally see scientists actually trying to come up with this solution for stopping from killing the planet.
I know, and I would actually want to see like a series based on this concept.
But the fact that we're focusing
So much
of camera time, screen time revolved around this one dude and his entire life of bullshit,
and
just
boring,
completely deludes all of it.
and
I mean, the houses are cool. That's something, but
we can give them 2, as stated, for 1995.
I mean, we can't shrink ourselves and live inside of them, but that's beside the point. The point is the scientific discovery is fantastic. Like, if you take, I want to say, for example, have any of you ever, there's a video game where you play as androids, and you're going around learning about human society and how badly androids or robots are treated by human beings just because they're androids, and how androids or robots or whatever are taking jobs from working class people, and the controversy behind it all.
I've never heard that, but that sounds very fascinating.
It is. There are a lot of gameplays of it. Jacksepticeye, Markiplier.
What is this game?
Teresa. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
But that's fascinating, and it could, and that as a movie instead of what we got from I Am Robot with Will Smith would have been so much better.
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing for that crack at Will Smith, and if he doesn't do a good job as Genie, I will be very upset.
Okay. The live-action remake of Aladdin aside,
This movie deserved a better plot, better storyline, better characters, and way better time and effort than it was given.
yeah, we actually put more effort into this video than I thought they put into the movie. I mean, sure, coming up with the idea of shrinking down, that's fascinating. That's interesting.
This is literally our first take.
Yeah. Well, we will get more to that. But here's the thing: we are focusing so much on what we could have had, what we should have had, but no, that makes the movie so much worse. Which is probably why we're getting so fucking angry over it.
Exactly. What we could have had would have been so much amazing. I actually think it could have been given an Oscar.
Yeah, at least 2, maybe even 3 or 4.
Well, I don't know. I don't think a movie has actually gotten that many.
I don't know.
If I'm wrong, comment one in the comment section below.
I think some Tom and Jerry shorts got like a couple of Oscars.
Maybe. And I think some an NA episode got an award for something.
Yeah, same as Looney Tunes. Anyway, getting off topic. Sorry.
Anyway, the fact of the matter that we're focusing on so much of what we didn't have makes me wonder: is it possible? Is it possible if someone out there actually thought the first one was so terrible, so mind-bogglingly boring, and so stupid, is it possible that with enough time, effort, and enough signatures, we could get a number 2 involving what we said?
So, kind of like a reboot?
A reboot, like how they do for some more Superman, even though the movies are terrible.
Or do you mean like a in-between-quel, kind of like the Lion King 1.5, where instead of focusing on what's his name, it focused more on the scientist and the journey he went on?
Yes, or like, okay, you guys have seen Nightmare on Elm Street. We reviewed the remake. Okay, Downsizing number 1. There's the old one. Reboot our version.
And we're not saying put us in it, but
honestly, I don't think we. I mean, I'm not saying we're terrible, but I just don't think we're like actors.
Speak for yourself. I was trained in the theater, but I get what you mean.
Try to be a bit more humble. Come on.
Hey, you activated him. You know what you did. That will be discussed in one of my future videos. So
anyway,
spoilers.
I'm sorry I keep mentioning how boring it is, but it really is. It's just
like I said before, you feel every second of the 2 hours. It even feels longer than 2 hours.
Not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of disappointed that we wasted so much time
and effort
on talking about something so boring that we used up more time, or possibly less time, talking about what we should have had.
I know.
I mean, what we should have had, if anything, it could be put into a short little, like, YouTube movie video.
Yeah, like one of those ones that...
Like some of those Five Nights at Freddy's things. Like, if you've ever seen one of those with, like, the clickable annotations, you get, like, a different story or something with each click of an annotation.
So, like a parody?
Kind of, yeah.
So, yeah, I see what you're saying. So, kind of like a YouTube movie which somehow gets the creators of that to get their own show. Kind of like, I can't believe I'm saying this, Fred, if he's still a thing.
Yeah. Or like Dude Perfect, how they have
or
that
the
thing on...
Orange. But God, I can't believe I still remember that awful thing.
Or
no
like
offense,
I said,
no offense.
Or like I said, Dude Perfect, who had shows on both CMT and Nickelodeon. Not advertising, just love the dudes. They're really cool.
And I think even some of the live-action shows on Cartoon Network, which, yeah, that was a dumb idea, giving live-action shows to, a station called Cartoon Network. But, yeah.
Actually, Destroy Phil Destroy was pretty freaking cool.
Okay, true. That was a little bit cool.
Anyway, I think we've gotten off topic, but the point is...
But I think they had the channel too before they got their own show. That's what I was trying to say. But
okay,
I know.
The point is, this movie could have been done so much better, but it wasn't given the time or the effort or anything to really make it a sci-fi drama.
I know, and here's the thing. For like, 10, 15 minutes, it actually became hilarious.
Yeah. Oh,
it was so bad, the jokes literally kept pouring out of all three of us, which we sadly don't have because our friend Jen recorded it on her phone and we didn't write them down when we had the chance.
You guys know what could have been done? You know what could have been done? Okay, so let's say we have the scientists, and then we have an army of bugs who are helping the scientists do whatever. I'm not sure how communication works there, but the finer details don't need to be really all that.
It would be explained earlier.
Exactly.
Or later.
Okay, so one of the bugs is like revengeful or not trusting of the humans, and decides to possibly get revenge. Like in one of the ones after one of the Planet of the Apes movies, like where there's this one guy and he's amassing an army to kill all the rest of the humans off, before War of the Planet of the Apes. And we basically have this one bug come in and kill the doctor, and the doctor on his deathbed is telling the firstborn of the colony, the first baby of the colony, live on, take my legacy, lead them, and do not be afraid.
Yeah,
I am always with you, my pupil.
Okay, Obi-Wan. So, yeah. And then that would start his journey to becoming more of a leader.
And then we'd have even more of the movie, possibly.
Yeah, and it could possibly even be like more than 2 hours long if need be. It would be so fascinating.
Or maybe even the kid could find a cure for smallness.
Yeah, because as we said, this process is irreversible. So, Audrey screwed her husband over.
But if dissected a bit more, it could be reversible for those who maybe want to visit their friends and family, and then that bullshit with Audrey didn't have to happen.
Yeah, it could have been so much better.
Just no, okay?
Hell, even if a version of where Audrey didn't chicken out and decided to, in fact, go through with it, because she would still be with the man she loved, who wanted to do everything she wanted.
It still wouldn't have been any better.
Yeah, I know, but it would have been a little better.
No,
it would have. At least it would have painted her in a more favorable light.
No, it wouldn't.
So you're telling me that even if she did go through it, even if she stuck it out, even if she stayed by his side throughout the entire movie, without her...
Would it have changed to a sci-fi drama at all?
No, but it just would
That's the point, though. We didn't get a sci-fi drama. We got a bullshit man with a bullshit life and a fuck shit of a wife.
I know, I'm just trying to say...
And I'm sorry for the rhyme. I didn't mean for it to happen. It's just there. I know I'm picking on the women too much, but gosh darn it, it was a fucked up thing for her to do.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if she did that, it would have painted her character in a more favorable light if she didn't abandon him.
Well, she didn't have all that favorable a life to begin with.
I'm not gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Please don't.
So, yeah. Oh my god, I think this might be your longest video so far.
No, NA Big Picture still is. I'm not apologizing, universe!
How long was that video?
I think it was an hour and 40 minutes.
What did you do that made the universe that mad at you? Because it was that long?
I don't know. Opinions, I guess, drive the multiverse crazy. Multiverse, universe. I'm not apologizing for the video. I'm really not.
You do realize that technically all our videos are opinion-based.
Exactly, so I don't know why mine offended him so much. Or her, or whatever, unisex, whatever. What?
I think it's just the fact that it hates Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
What?
Yeah, think for yourself.
How fucking dare you!
So, wait, he put you through all of that just because it doesn't like Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
Fuck you, universe!
Well, then why did they watch it? I mean, they didn't have to.
I don't know, maybe they thought I would diss Ed and Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I did say some bad things, but, I mean, overall, Ed and Eddie was a part of my childhood.
Okay, yeah, we're getting off subject, but...
Yes, we are.
Okay, so...
Anyway.
And this video is getting really long for your channel. I mean...
I really don't care. This is on my laptop, not on my phone. I'm not caring.
Sure, so... And I'm saying it for him because a lot of my videos have gone over the 1 hour mark.
Anyway, guys, so that has been my collaboration review with Austin on Downsizing. And why would you pick this movie of all things to review with me?
Technically, I was sent by the universe. This was kind of your punishment.
Wait, you were my punishment?
No. Me roping you into this review. Do you want to see what the universe gave me out of it?
What?
They gave me this awesome fucking jacket. Black outside, dark red inside. Pretty cool, right?
Okay. Let me get this straight. My universe-ending punishment was not me almost getting blown to smithereens. It was not the fact that you tackled me out of the way from the explosion. It was you roping me in to reviewing Downsizing. And I have one question. Did you ask for this jacket?
I did not. All I said was,
and
why would I make him suffer?
And the reward you got
was a
fucking jacket!
Yes, and in all honesty, the whole explosion thing, I said no at first. The explosion thing was their way of getting you. It wouldn't have hurt you or anything, but I dove out of the way because I thought it was going to hurt you, but they threw the jacket in as a plus, so. It sounds a lot. And there it is. There it is.
Okay, well.
Now that that's over.
Well, now that that punishment is over, I can get on with my life and stop being afraid. And probably use that laser rifle to better use.
Yeah, wait, how?
Run, bitch! You get 5 seconds. 1, 2,
oh, how cute. He thinks
3.
Me. Wait a minute, I said no to the universe at first.
5! Do you want to be shot?
I can regenerate.
Fine, I'll give you 10 seconds.
Anyway,
1,
before Elmer Fudd goes on
2.
a hunting season after Bugs Bunny. Okay. Anyway, I'm Austin Parkinson. Outro?
I'm Christian Lyster-Bradley, and this has been my YouTube, our
video of downsizing.
Anyway, so, good day, good night, good fortune to you all.
See you all in the next video.
Let's see. I'm gonna kill you, you know that, right?
I know you won't. Did you round 4?
Alright. Now, get ready to die. In 10 seconds. 1, 2. You're not getting one? 1, 2. You know what? Fuck it. 1, 2, skip a few. Dang! Get back here! I'll kill you!
Hi everybody, Austin Parkinson here. We just wanted to say a couple of things before the end of the video. This was actually our second take because we went through like a last minute rehearsal before we started filming, and we like went on the rehearsal like we did, like where we were planning out we were putting the finishing touches on, like the diving, the get down, the laser, all of that. Tell them what happened, Christian.
Okay, so I was speaking like I was doing the video, and we weren't even recording.
We got to the good day, good night, good fortune to you all before he realized that
we weren't even recording.
I would have told him, but he was on such a roll.
You're a prick. You're my brother, but you're such a prick.
It was funny.
That was not funny.
It kind of was.
Okay, a little bit.
So yeah, we just wanted to, like tell you all that because we thought, like, after seeing us freak out over something in a video, that you might get a little bit of enjoyment out of seeing or hearing about this kind of blooper. So we like added it in since you obviously can't see it because it wasn't being recorded.
Yeah. And sorry about my hair being all like this during the entire thing, but when you're doing all this stuff, like it just happens.
Yeah,
it's a part of the job. It happens. We don't have makeup artists. We don't have anything.
It's just us.
Exactly, doing our own thing, being us, dressing ourselves
like every other person,
doing our own hair.
Okay, anyway, so yeah, we just thought you'd like hearing that we actually did this review twice, but once was never recorded, so it was never on camera. I kind of wish that we did record it, like I forgot to like turn off my...
Because in all reality, the first one was better because I was on such a roll.
I know.
I was on such a good roll.
And
I forgot half the shit I actually said.
And we didn't interrupt each other, and we actually did remember every joke that we made.
But interrupting makes it funnier.
True, but... So yeah, like, as I was saying, I was kind of hoping that we did record it. Like, I forgot to turn off the recording on my laptop while we started, and then you realized that your laptop wasn't recording, and you went, wait, it's not recording, motherfucker! And then you would be, like, laughing, we would have said all that, and I would go, like, dude, my laptop is still rolling. We don't have to do it again anyway! Actually, we do, because you're uploading this to your channel, aren't you?
Alright, guys.
Anyway, yeah, it would have been...
Well, I could have moved the video from I could have copied your video and pasted it onto a flash drive and then put it on my thing.
True, but it would have taken more effort.
I don't know about that. Anyway, guys, so this has been our collaboration on downsizing. Do me a favor, actually, because I'm curious. We know what parts we thought were the funniest. We know what we say. We know what we do.
We know what we like.
Exactly. So do me a favor. If you've watched to the end of this over an hour-long video, I want you to do me a favor and comment down below your favorite funny line from this review.
Yeah, or even your like quick little comment about what you thought of the movie if you have seen it.
Exactly. Anyway, so that being said, thank you so much for watching our video. Every video you watch does help our channel. We're both my channel
too when we do collabs. So yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, every view we get does help our channels grow and process. Do us all a favor, share this video with a friend, even if they have a short attention span. You know who you are. And
Sorry.
Just show them, maybe show them your favorite part. Like, just skim through the video, show them your favorite part.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a friend. And as always, good day, good night, good fortune to you all. And please, don't be douches.
I'm Austin Parkinson.
Dumbass kid.
I'm Austin Parkinson. I'll see you all next time.
Okay. Remind me to kill you.
No.